When we think about psychological control, it isn't some random chaotic thing. It's actually a predictable pattern. It's a playbook. And in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the dark psychology behind manipulation and, well, we're going to break down the very script manipulators use to get inside your head.
So think about this for a second. How is a mind captured without a single chain? That's really the core question we're exploring today. See, the most effective control isn't physical at all. It's psychological. It's all about slowly rewriting someone's reality until the prison is something that only exists in their own mind. So, let's get into it. Psychological manipulation isn't just a series of random, mean acts. Nope, it's a staged process, like a script for a play, and it's designed to break a person down piece by piece. We're going to walk through that very script stage by stage.
And it all starts here, in part one, the lure. This is the setup. This is where a manipulator creates this irresistible illusion of perfection. The crazy thing is, they're not showing you who they really are. They're showing you exactly who you want them to be. The number one tool in their toolkit for this, love bombing. And let's be clear, this isn't real affection. It's a calculated flood of attention, of compliments, of grand declarations, all designed to hijack your brain's reward system. It creates this addictive dopamine rush that over time can make you emotionally dependent. It's a complete setup. This quote just hits the nail on the head. It captures the feeling perfectly. It's intense, exhilarating, almost too perfect. And you know why? Because it is too perfect. It's a performance, and it's designed specifically to make you lower all your defenses. That too good to be true feeling? Yeah, that's your gut telling you something's off. It's a major red flag. And you know what else manipulators use against us? Our own brains. They exploit something called the halo effect. See, our brains love to take shortcuts. If someone seems super charming or really confident, we just subconsciously assume they must also be honest and kind and trustworthy. A manipulator uses that shiny first impression like a halo to completely mask what they're really about. Okay, so let's move on to part two and see how this all builds. This is the trap. This is the stage where the manipulator stops just creating an illusion and starts actively, deliberately warping their target's reality. That foundation of trust they just built, now it gets used as a weapon. And the key tactic here is a word you've probably heard a lot: gaslighting. The term actually comes from this old 1944 film called Gaslight, where a husband tries to drive his wife insane by doing things like dimming their gas-powered lights and then completely denying it's happening. And the goal is just terrifyingly simple: make you doubt your own mind, so completely that you become dependent on their version of what's real. Let's look at how this plays out. When a manipulator says something like, "I never said that," they're literally denying reality right to your face. When they say, "You're always so dramatic," they're not just dismissing you, they're attacking your right to even have emotions. Every single one of these phrases is a tool, and it's designed to just chip away at your confidence and ultimately your sanity. Now, gaslighting paves the way for the next big goal, which is isolation. And it's a very deliberate step-by-step process. First, the manipulator plants seeds of doubt about your support system, your friends, your family. Then they position themselves as the only one who truly gets you, the only source of truth. And the end game? Total dependence. They cut you off from anyone on the outside who might challenge their control. And that brings us to part three, the leash. Okay, so once a target is questioning their own reality and they're isolated, the manipulator uses this cycle of push and pull tactics to keep them trapped. This is all about the long-term maintenance of control. A huge part of this stage is something called hoovering. And yes, it's literally named after the vacuum cleaner because it's designed to suck you right back in the very moment you try to leave. It's a tactic that preys on your hope, that little bit of hope that things will go back to that perfect beginning, a beginning that was never actually real to begin with. And hoovering can look like a few different things. Sometimes it's another round of that intense love bombing, full of promises that this time it'll be different. Other times, it's playing the pity card, making you feel responsible for some crisis they've made up. Or it can be just lashing out with anger or jealousy, anything to provoke a reaction and pull you back into the drama. The ultimate goal of this whole cycle is to create a state of learned helplessness. This is a really heavy psychological concept. It was actually discovered in experiments where dogs, after being repeatedly shocked with no way to escape, just gave up. Eventually, even when the researchers opened the cage door, the dogs didn't even try to leave.
They had learned that resistance was pointless. And that brings us to this incredibly powerful truth. The most dangerous thing a manipulator steals isn't someone's freedom. It's their belief that freedom was ever possible. Learned helplessness is that final chain. It's the one that exists only in the mind. But here's the most important part. The spell can be broken. And that brings us to our final section, Part 4, Reclaiming Your Reality. Because just understanding the playbook is the first massive step to defending yourself against it. So, how do you actually protect yourself? Well, here are 3 key strategies. First, cultivate your awareness. That feeling of pressure inside you, the one that tells you not to question something, treat that feeling as a huge red flag. Second, actively seek out multiple perspectives. Don't let a single person become your only source of truth. And third, learn to question emotional manipulation. When you feel a sudden, strong emotion, like guilt or fear, just stop and ask yourself, who benefits from me feeling this way right now? So, we'll end with this thought. Your reality is shaped by stories, the ones you hear from other people and the ones you tell yourself. The ultimate question to take away from all of this is pretty simple. Who's holding the pen?